But if you were ever to join our club, we would love you the same way we would love the other members. We would support you the same way. And that's the special thing about here. That's the positive energy I'm talking about.
Tonight is to allow our competitors to share about their experiences in the contest journey. And my wish for you as VPE is that next year, instead of saying, sure, I'll compete, you'll say, absolutely yes. Tonight we have 4 wonderful panelists that will be sharing from their individual experiences competing for TGIF. And what I have are a few questions prepared for them to share. And then we will have about 5 minutes left over for open floor questions. Anything you want to ask. Anything you want to ask. Just kidding. And so that is our goal for tonight's panel. We will have 20 to 25 minutes. Our wonderful timer will give me green at 20, 23 will be yellow, and red at 25. Wonderful. Okay, so our opening question for you all tonight, we're going to be starting from Linda and working our way down this way, is why did you decide to compete this year?
Yeah, because you. He's the VPE, he asked me. It's a good chance. And I never compete in evaluation, so I think it's a time to give it a try. And also it's in Chinese, so you don't afraid that you don't understand what the speaker talking about.
I always feel that.
I always
Because it's my native language.
It is?
Yeah. Okay, and also in evaluation, you can to learn how to organize and how to give the feedback in a short time. So I think it's really good to get me to learn. Yeah, thank you.
Wonderful.
Every year at the contest, I haven't competed since 2017. And every year I see the results, and then Paul's angry and I'm angry. What is wrong with these judges? We're gonna revolt, we're gonna turn everything around.
Go to edit this video.
Don't show that. But then, we always tell each other that's it. We're done. We're never going to compete. This is ridiculous. This stinks. But then somehow it's that positive energy again. It comes around. And this year I felt it again on the stage. And when you're there and you see your friends and your members on the stage, you feel that energy and you're like, I'm going to compete again. And this is from last year. So that's why this year I competed. I made a mistake this year though when I competed because I was asked, do you want to compete for Born to Shine or TGIF? And I chose I'm going to compete for TGIF because I wanted to give Nick, a Born to Shine, my mentee, an opportunity to make it to the finals, and he did. Not the finals, but to continue. However, because of a Vietnamese trip he had to take, he dropped out. And unfortunately, the other members, they didn't make it through to the division finals, or they didn't make it to the finals, semifinals. But, and then I had to compete with Carolyn. I got knocked out by Carolyn, who, obviously was probably mentored by Joe, which is like, so I was like, big mistake. So next time, if you're a dual member, you have to choose, you just look at who you have to compete against. Forget about your mentees.
It's not bad advice, but I was not only mentored by Joe.
Okay.
I was mentored by years of attending conferences with TGIF and Born to Shine.
You knew what to expect.
Years and years and years of conferences. So for me, competing this year, I decided to compete because I finally joined Toastmasters. It only took 10 years for me to join, so I've been preparing for a while for contest season, and I thought evaluation was a pretty good place to start because it's not like the prepared speech You don't have to memorize a lot of things and rehearse and practice and have people look at your script and give you feedback. No, you just get up there and you give your evaluation and you're done. It's like, okay, this sounds like something that I can do. Yes.
For evaluation, it's like you have 5 minutes to memorize what you want to say.
Yeah, exactly. You're not wrong.
Right?
It is. We'll probably get into that later. But yeah, that's my answer.
And this year I represent TGI for Chinese contest, but I was knocked out for at area level because for division N, not many people competing. Can you imagine? Only 2 people competing for division N contest. But when I look at the net of the competitor, I was so shocked. I don't think I will win. So rather than try to set a goal for winning the contest, maybe I can say something funny to all the audience. But last time when Paul was competing in Chinese evaluation, even though he didn't win, but he was the one who got a lot of laugh. Maybe in order to make the audience laugh, maybe I can share something to make the audience entertain. So I'm pretty sure I'm the one who got many laughs for the semi-final. I'm pretty sure. Yeah. And many people, and Simone, he has a lot of cat. She has a lot of cat. She said she enjoys so much as a cat owner. So I was so happy to hear what she said about my story. Thank you so much.
Two-time semi-finalists.
Yeah.
Wonderful. Now, Carolyn earlier mentioned that she's observed lots of contests, and so I wanted to go into my next question is, can you share a little bit more specifically, how did observing contests over a decade help you prepare as a first-time competitor?
Yes, an excellent question. So I have been attending conferences for, I think we counted 10, right? When we recorded the story, when we recorded the podcast.
We have a podcast called The Story, TGIF and
Born to Shine.
Christian Toastmasters.
Yes, it's an excellent podcast. And I was on one of the episodes, and I think when we did that episode, it was the contest. The episode was the contest.
The conference.
Oh, the conference. Oh, the conference. The conference. Thank you. Okay, the conference episode, and I think we counted 10. So then this would be my 11th contest for Toastmasters to attend, and my first time competing. And it's really helpful to see how other people present themselves on stage. It's really helpful to see what techniques other people have honed over the years. I remember one year, everybody in the evaluation contest had memorized a script, and they just filled in the blanks in their script, and it was the most boring contest because it was just the same thing over and over and over again, because they all had the same script. I'm going to give you 3 things that you did well, and those 3 things would be, I have 3 fruits for you, I have 3 stars for you, silver, gold, and bronze, and I have 3, and it was... So being able to see what other people do, and they have done over the years, gives you a lot of ideas. Like, how can I structure my evaluation and make it special? That will get the audience's attention, get the judge's attention, but not be cliche and not sound boring. Because that is Paul's #1 rule.
Don't be boring.
Don't be boring.
Wonderful, thank you. For those of you who didn't have the opportunity to go to the final round of the evaluation contest, Carolyn definitely started it with power. She comes running out to the stage and goes, "Thunder!" Yeah. It's amazing.
Yeah.
Even Paul looked over like, that's good. Wonderful. This question is directed at Eric and Alex. I want to ask, as multi-year competitors, I'll start with Eric. You've competed multiple times. Why do you keep coming back?
Well, there's 3 reasons.
3 stars. Or you could do Lester's, SEX.
Wait, so the question was why I keep coming back.
Why do you keep coming back?
Yeah, it's the energy. Like I said, you know, I was there this year and I see Paul in the semifinals and I see how competitive it is. I'm like, man, maybe I'll compete next year.
I'll see that.
And then I remember, oh my God, the prepared speeches and all the memorization. Yeah, so I think competing and just coming together is great. I love to see some of the people I don't normally see from the South, from the Taichung. I see them once a year, and even though I don't see them that often, it's great to see them there as well. So I think the community here in Taiwan is so close, and going to the conferences is a celebration. I feel like it's a very important event each year that we all look forward to. Next year is in Kaohsiung. I'll definitely be there. So yeah, that's why I do it.
As many people know, I have been a contest chair for many times.
Yes.
When Paul told me it's time for me to contest.
Compete.
So that's why I think maybe it's time for having a contest to see my breakthrough. And also why I compete this year, because like I said before, not many people compete in Division N. So
You should have told us. We could have got that signed up.
yeah, but even though I didn't win, but I see the breakthrough I had. I see how much I grow I have from the contest, because each time when you join the conference, you see the technique, you see the skill from different from each competitors, and then you know how to apply in your own speech. Therefore, I think going to the contest really help you to grow, really help you to see what you can do for your speech for the future time. So I always encourage people to compete for the contest, because you never know how much growth you will see. You never know the breakthrough you will have from the content. So each time when our Vice President of Education asks you to compete, always say yes, because it's a time.
Thank you, Alex.
Because it's a time for you to see your growth. It's time for you to see walk of the comfort zone.
This year, Linda, you competed in the Chinese evaluation contest, and you mentioned, well, competing in my native language is a little bit easier. But what did you learn from competing in the Chinese evaluation contest? What did you pick up?
In the end, I think how you deliver, the way how you talk about it is really important. Maybe everybody have the same suggestion, but how you give, how you deliver to let the speaker accept your suggestion, that is quite important. I also think that this can applicate into your career, because sometimes you need to give the suggestion to your colleagues or even your boss, but you need to use the way that is nicer to let them to accept it. So I think that's the biggest thing I learned in the Chinese evaluation. And Liu Jing is my competitor, but she got to the final, and I'm only in semi-final. And after hearing her speech, I know she did a lot of work, so you worth it.
Now my next question deals with the unprepared contest. So evaluation, table topics, things of that nature. And so I want to ask, what mindset helps with contests where you're not fully prepared? What kind of mindset do you really need to go into those contest seasons and do well? And Carolyn, you have the microphone in your hand, so you can go first.
Oh, I guess I'm first. Okay, so as the least experienced person up here, I get to go first. Great. So for me, going into those contests, obviously I'm taking notes, really focused, listening to that speech, trying to figure out what are the points of improvement. Because that's kind of where the evaluation really has its weight. What are the points of improvement? Of course, you also need to say good things about the speech. It's very important. You don't want to insult the speaker. It's important to tell them what they did well as some things that they can improve, and including both aspects. But for me, coming into that, I had some really great advice from Paul, which was, don't start the speech the same way that everyone always starts the evaluation speech, which is, speaker, where are you? Can you raise your hand? Because that takes so much time. Or, I loved your speech. Everyone says they loved the speech.
We didn't.
I thought it was a good speech. But that shouldn't be the first thing you say. You need to get the judge's attention, the audience's attention, and connect. So being able to find an interesting way that makes sense for you and how you deliver your own speaking style, as well as the speech you are evaluating, and finding something that you can really grab onto, which I tried to do based on Paul's advice for that final contest, and it worked out pretty well.
So the question was not only about evaluation, but the maybe table topics,
Yes, correct.
or
Unprepared.
anything like that. So
Robots come to Earth and you want to tell me you love it.
You're unprepared.
I think one of the things we really have to be aware of is the feeling of your own feeling towards something, the genuine feeling. So if it's you're doing an evaluation, whatever those things the speaker is saying and how it made you feel, remember that. Jot that down. Rather than thinking about what does the audience want to hear, what do other people want to say, what would Paul have said, what would Joe have said. Don't think about that. Think about something from your own heart and jot that down. I didn't like this, I really loved this, and why. So that's for evaluation. For table topics, I think there's a confidence that has grown here in Toastmasters. For me, that's the thing I actually learned the most here, is the confidence. It's built my confidence. Because of the successes and the love and the support, it really builds your confidence. So when you're up there, same thing. When you're given a table topics question, don't think, and I feel like some people, especially, I don't want to say especially, but some people in this room do that. You know, they're asked a question and they don't really say what they really want to say, and they don't trust themselves. They only want to say something that Paul wants to hear. You know, everything is about, celebration for Paul, you know. So we all want to celebrate Paul, but say something from your own voice, with your own heart.
I agree.
So I think that's the suggestion I give most people, is the genuine, and I think that's part of being, having integrity, is to be true to yourself. All right. Yeah. Don't say something that
Eric wants you to
Advice for unprepared speeches.
That's right.
Okay, I think first for myself is my mindset. I need to encourage myself and tell myself to be confident in the stage. That's the first part. And in the evaluation, I think just focus what you got. If you can get any suggestion from the contest, then just see maybe the stage use, their tone or their gesture. Try to find something that you can give them feedback. So that's what for me. Thank you.
Nice. Last but not least, Alex Shih.
How do you prepare? Actually, how I prepare? Actually, I think it's important to have someone look at your script and to give you advice. Like because this time I read
Impromptu.
Yes. How I prepare? Actually, it's important to look at the video from our YouTube channel. So that's why I invite you guys to subscribe, because it really helps you a lot. Because I watch the many times.
Is that what you really want to say?
I'm sure. I watch it every time.
Is that what Paul wants you to say?
Except Joe also wants him to say.
Yeah, I think it's important to look at the video because it really help you to know the area you need to work on and the strength you have. Because the more you watch the video, the more speech you observe, the more idea you know how to present on the stage. So for the table topic, for me it's kind of hard to prepare for table topic. But sometimes maybe you can try to catch some stuff to do the speech. For example, right now I look at the video here. I can give a speech about table topic. This is what I learned from member from South Africa. Is it? Or maybe when you are driver car, maybe you look at police here. Hey, give the table topic about the police, something like that. Or right now, when I see car, I can give a speech about table topic about car, something like that. It can train you to know what you can say for your speech. This is what I learned for table topic.
Wonderful.
Thank you.
Now, because of time, I'm going to go into my final prepared question, and then we'll open the floor for just about a minute or two for one or two questions, because we have about 5 minutes left. So my final question is, I'm a vice president of education, and I'm an area director, and I'd like to ask you, what can our club do to support new competitors next year? What can we as a club do to support competitors? And I'll start from Alex and we'll work our way back over. Thank you.
I think it's important to let the member know we are there for you. So if they are competing, just let them know we are there for you. I just encourage them not to be afraid because our club will try our best to support them. It's really important. And for instance, I think it's important to have a coach or a mentor to look at the script and to see what they can work on for their contest, because it's kind of hard to compete if no one give you advice.
But you never asked us.
A different club. He was competing for a different club. So I would recommend to the club, because we have so many members who do participate in contests, have a contest coordinator who is not the VPE and not the division director. Because it should be someone who can really focus on which contests are happening when, help members keep track of who is competing in each contest. Because there are so many events on Saturdays, on Sundays, in the morning, in the afternoon, at this venue, at that venue. And being able to have very clear communication about who is competing when, in which contest, I think would be really nice.
Very good.
I think the Taiwanese people are too nice. And I think what we can do to other members to help them is to be truthful and to be honest about where they really need to improve. And I know Paul and I, for instance, we're very direct people. And I struggle with giving that kind of feedback in a more clever way or in a way not to hurt them. So that's something I'm learning as an evaluator or somebody giving criticism. But I'm learning that and it's getting better. However, I am not afraid to tell somebody where they really need to improve. And I think we need to do that more rather than just say, that was perfect. This is great. Be truthful. And I told Paul when I edited his speech, I said, when I read this, I think you're crazy.
You did.
Yeah. And he knows I love him as a brother, and he knew he didn't take criticism to that. I wrote something, I gave an evaluation to Carolyn a couple weeks ago, and I didn't say what I wanted to say on stage because Carolyn and I are still getting to know each other. But I wrote something on her sheet. And briefly, I mean, I didn't say it the way I'm about to say it, but briefly I said, don't laugh at your own jokes.
That's a very Carolyn thing.
Yeah.
I love it.
And I said, it's fine, but it's fine to laugh at your jokes, it's cute. However, if you're learning a different way to deliver, like Linda was saying, how do you deliver? differently of people on stage. You're sitting there watching, wow, they deliver it like this. Maybe try a delivery where it's a dry joke. You don't laugh at it and see how the audience reacts to that. So these are criticisms that I don't normally give to acquaintances, people that are not friends. Because you don't really know them. Why would you want to hurt them? Because they don't know you. They'll take it as criticism. But because I know Paul, because I know Carolyn, and I trust, and I wrote it real carefully, if you remember.
I do.
Try not to hurt her. That I really mean it from my heart. Try a different delivery. And I think these are things that we can do for other contestants in your club. Right?
Thank you.
Yeah.
I think we do good in the mental part, but our club is bilingual, so when I compete in Chinese evaluation, I think maybe we can get some judges or some evaluator from other Chinese clubs. So because I think it's different way, our club is have an advantage in the English because we have a lot of native speaker member. Yeah, so give some Chinese mentor or evaluator from other Chinese club. I think that will be helpful for future.
Very good. Now, as much as I'd like to have a big session to allow everybody to ask questions, I do see the red. However, I do at least want to give one person an opportunity to ask a question.
How about a guest?
All right, wonderful. So Sabrina, I'm going to come over here with the microphone for you.
Thank you for all the members sharing. That's very impressive. My question is, I feel like preparing the contest sounds like a long journey. And we all busy with life, like we have a lot of work to do, busy with the kids or family. So what makes you persist in this kind of mission or this kind of context? Thank you.
Well, I think it's one thing people need to realize is, even though we're great speakers, some of us are really great, it doesn't mean you're always going to be great if you don't practice. So we're like a knife. If you keep using it, it's going to get dull, but that doesn't really make sense. But when it comes to speakers, you need to continue to practice to be good. And there was a time when I started a new career. I remember I stopped coming to Toastmasters for, 6 months? A year? And when I came back, I was so rusty. And that's something that we need to continue to do, to be here every week. Now, I come every week not so I can be a great speaker. I come every week for the community and to see my friends.
Me too.
But in doing so and being here every week, I realize I'm also doing other things like improving myself as a speaker. So these are things why we tell our members to come, not just to say hi and sit around and do nothing. Take your time and actually learn something and be sharp. Paul Sharp.
Paul.
Why are you saying the things I want to hear? Is that it?
I can have maybe one more person respond.
Okay, so for me, yes, I totally understand being very busy. Weekends are very valuable and contests are on the weekend. So for me, persisting through the contest season was really important because I'm not just representing me, I'm representing my club. And we have people who are guests here tonight because they heard about our club. We have such a great reputation. There's so much responsibility. but really, to be a member of a strong club or a good club that has good energy, it's a privilege. It's an honor. And so being able to represent my club at multiple levels for multiple contests is something that I can be proud of doing and is worth the time.
Could I add one thing to that? We say a lot of our club, my club.
China.
It's not about my club and you're in my club and you're not allowed to join or we're never going to include you. If you guys ever really decided, I'm not trying to take you guys from your clubs, but if you were ever to join our club, we would love you the same way we would love the other members. We would support you the same way. And that's the special thing about here. That's the positive energy I'm talking about. So, everyone, I know some people who don't really know us and they're like, oh, TGIF and Born to Shine, they're so exclusive. They're kind of to themselves, they're kind of nose up, I don't know what they say. But I'm like, man, that is so different from what it actually really is.
Yeah, right.
There are some clubs out there that are like that, it's very exclusive. And they treat guests like, oh, how do you like my meeting, my club? We're very different. And people who join can tell you that.
Wonderful, thank you so much.